Southwest Airlines. Book your low fares now at southwest.com. And by Royal Farms, world famous chicken and western fries. Made fresh, never frozen. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms. Rogers Center is the site, as was true last night. Roof open. Beautiful day. Take a look at our BGE home. Game time temperature 68 degrees with lots of sunshine out there today. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Here's the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Machado, Snyder, and Jones. Young, Davis, and Reimold. Hardy, Flaherty, and Joseph. Reimold starts in center, first time ever at the majors. And Snyder, why he's in, those numbers.
Now let's take a look at Mark Burley's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 64% of the time has a two-seamer, four-seamer, and the cut fastball that he can change speeds on and mix locations very well. Breaking ball 9% of the time, so the occasional curveball and the plus changeup. And he has the ability to change his speed. You're going to see it. The speed vary from 69 to about 74 miles an hour with that pitch. 13 starts this year. Already 3 complete games. 4.01 earned run average. 7-4 record. 3 of his wins coming against the Orioles this season. It's the 278 batting average overall. Pretty much even distribution. Fly ball, ground ball percentage. But he's given up 11 long balls this year.
Manny Machado ready to go. And Mark Burley delivers. Machado will take it on the outside corner for a strike. And we are underway. For Manny, a 2 for 4 in the ball game last night. He is now 10th in hits in the American League and 6th in runs scored. Pitch by Burley will be put up in the air to left field. Labello going back, up, and it's off the wall. Into second base goes Machado. Will make a turn and stay. Not played particularly well. Rather than going back and getting there, he just kept drifting and sold it to baseball.
Well, really not played well by either Manny Machado or Colabello. See Manny getting on the inside cutter. He thinks he might have got it. Ball kind of carrying in the heat with the dome open. Colabello just gliding back. It's off the wall, but look at Manny. He's just jogging to first and realizes the play isn't made. Easily into second, but probably could have been standing on third base.
Lesson to be learned right there again. Now they'll play for the bunt, and that's going to be a base hit into right field. Bautista up. Manny Machado will stop, throw to the cutoff man. So the Orioles get to Burley with a double and a single, cover the corners with nobody out.
Well, one thing Burley has the ability to do is throw strikes. He's not afraid of getting hit. But throughout his career, he's had the ability to minimize the damage. A couple quick hits here by the Orioles. See Burley, how fast he works, and the Orioles prepared in the early going.
So the Orioles get a chance to get on the board right now. Adam Jones is DHing again. That throwing shoulder still bothering him. They don't want to put him in the outfield and take a chance on hurting it more. It seemed to show up a little bit in his swings last night, favoring it. He did end up with a 1 for 3, and the Orioles want that bat in the lineup. He's got a .410 average against Burley with 2 home runs. First ball hitting into the seats. Who's hot, who's not? Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities.
Adam Jones been hot all season versus Toronto. 371, 3 homers, 8 RBI. Navarro on the other side. Month of June, not so hot. 3 for 22 with 5 punch-outs.
Adam 267 with runners in scoring position. He's got Manny Machado down at third base, Snyder at first, and the pitch will be taken inside. You see Jones backing out. The Orioles will do that as much as the home plate umpire will allow them to. Gabe Morales has the plate, just trying to slow Burley down a little bit. There's nobody faster between pitches than is Mark Burley. Ground ball, runner coming. Play's going to go to second. Had trouble with it. They'll only get 1. It'll be an RBI for Adam Jones, and the Orioles take a 1-0 lead. Machado crosses.
Nice job by the Orioles making the first mark of the ball game. Adam Jones getting on top here, the little chopper. Donaldson showing the range. Manny off and running with the double play attempt, but Donaldson the underhand feed. Probably should have taken it over the top. Might have gotten to Goins a little more accurately and firmly. The ability to possibly turn that double play.
So the RBI goes to Adam Jones. That'll be number 36 on the season. And a ground ball off the fist is going to go to Goins again. He tags the runner, throws to first, double play. The Orioles pick up one. They do it on a couple of hits. Nobody left on base. Delman Young hitting into the double play. Tag put on right here. Right on the wallet. And that'll end it. We'll take a look at the lineup for the Jays when we come back. And 20 on the road this year. Here's the lineup for the Jays. Reyes, Donaldson, and Bautista. Encarnacion, Colabello, Martin will be catching. Navarro, Pilar, and Goins. You see Bautista, numbers, homers, RBIs against the O's.
And let's take a look at Kevin Gausman's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 70% of the time. It is a power fastball, mid-90s. You can get it up there 98, 99 at times, sometimes even touching 100. Breaking ball, slider, morphed into the curveball this spring, but the change, bread and butter off-speed pitch. It's the Vulcan change. Good split finger action. 4.50 earned run average. Does have a win this year in his 8 games. All 8 games though in relief. First 6 games not so good. Next or 8 innings I meant. Or first 6 innings not so good. Next 6 innings great for Gausman. No earned runs. So this is his first start though since last September.
And he goes against Reyes in the leadoff spot, who will take the pitch down low for a ball. Reyes had a 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. He's one of the many red hot bats in this lineup for Toronto. Manny Machado will play in at third base. Gausman's pitch to him, away, ball 2. This Toronto team, a franchise mark right now. They're scoring 5.53 runs a game. That is the most in baseball this year and the most in franchise history. 2-0 count. Gausman to Reyes, who'll take, and that'll be there for a strike. He's trying to get on, lead it off here if he can with that great speed he brings. Gausman made his major league debut against Toronto back in May of 2013. That's going to be down the line, and that's a fair ball. It'll head over the corner. The Orioles weren't playing him there. Delman Young, the guy's in the corner. He'll get it back in and hold him to a double, and Reyes is on.
Reyes jumping on the fastball, 11th double this season. Of course, in the early going, Kevin Gausman wanting to establish this pitch. Not bad as far as height goes, but in the middle of the plate, Reyes picking up the double.
So, Toronto right back with a scoring opportunity immediately. And here is Donaldson. Last night, the Jays won the ball game 5-4. They only went 1 for 7, though, with runners in scoring position. Here's the first chance of the ball game today. Donaldson, and the pitch taken for a strike. Among the leaders in lots of offensive categories in the American League. He is 5th in home runs, 3rd in extra base hits. He's had 26 multi-hit games, 2nd most in the majors. He's in the Triple Crown categories, all three. 0-1 delivery to him late on that heater at 98.
Donaldson's made a huge impact, I think, for the Blue Jays. Take a look at Kevin Gausman's fastball, 98 at the top of the zone. Very tough to get to. Going to be able to work down and up, in and out with the heater, his primary pitch.
0-2 the count. Reyes off second base. Donaldson will foul it back at 97.
Take a look at the Orioles defense behind Gausman this afternoon. We have Snyder, Reimhold, and Young in the Orioles outfield. This is the first major league start center field for Reimhold. Hardy, Flaherty, Machado, and Davis, and Caleb Joseph behind the plate.
Orioles had a couple of errors in the ball game last night. Pitch on the way, and that will be taken inside. So Donaldson with a 1-ball 2-strike count. He's faced Gausman 7 times. A couple of hits, 7 at bats against him. Flaherty trying to hold Reyes as close as he can at second base. A little breeze blowing in here that'll probably carry the ball to left and center today. Donaldson takes it. Umar 98, but not in there, and it goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is his 3rd career appearance against the Jays. He is 1-1. 7 games, 2 starts previously. He has pitched here only in relief. 3 2/3 innings here at Rogers Center. And the breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop made by Joseph.
Yes, it was Caleb Joseph. Of course, caught Kevin Gausman many times before. Well aware of what that split finger will do. Down blocking it nicely. Reyes at second base would love to get over to third, so he's aware of balls in the dirt.
Number with runners in scoring position, a good one for Donaldson at 333. 3-ball 2-strike count. Donaldson takes, and he's on. Well, the Jays come right back after the Orioles get the lead in the first inning. They get the first 2 on with a double and a free pass.
Kevin Gausman maybe shaking the rust off a little bit, just missing with 99 in the inside corner to Donaldson.
Now Bautista. 291 with runners in scoring position for him. Way up over that 251 overall average. He just had an 0 for 1 in the ball game last night, but was active. Hit by a pitch, 2 walks, scored a run, had an RBI and a bases loaded walk. And Bautista will foul that one right straight back. As you saw, he has been a nemesis over the years against the Orioles, and this year is no different. He's hitting .280 against those pitching. He's had 2 home runs and 7 RBIs in the 10 games these teams have played. The Jays have a 7-3 edge this year against the Orioles, including all 4 games played here they've won. He'll take it on the inside corner for a strike. 98.
The Blue Jays love their home park. A nice home winning streak going right now. Their record's very similar, though, home and away. Orioles playing very good at Camden Yards, but the road has treated them not so good. Blue Jays very similar.
0-2 delivery, check swing to Davis. Davis has got it. There's one. Relay back to Gausman. Will not be in time. Good scoop by Kevin to hold Reyes at third base. So they get 1 at second, retiring Donaldson.
Good play by Davis here. The check swing from Bautista gets it down to Hardy, and Gausman way over covering first base, making a nice pick on the end.
So first and third, 1 away, and Encarnacion coming up. See the numbers for him in the year against the Orioles, hitting only .211 this year, but he's had 4 home runs and 9 RBIs in 10 games against the Orioles. 1 out. Gausman looking for the ground ball. That'll bounce. Held by Joseph in front of him and holds a runner at first base.
Another beautiful block there from Caleb Joseph. One of the biggest reasons Caleb Joseph in the big leagues and has made an impact on this Orioles team last year and now into this year. He's stepped his defense up tremendously. There were always knocks on him, but his inability to throw and just handling pitchers. But you see there blocking balls.
0-1 delivery will be fouled back. That's 2 in 2 nights. That's enough. Don't throw it back. I need somebody to work for the rest of the game. You could be tossed out. The first broadcaster thrown out of the game.
Right.
Actually, you wouldn't be the first. There have been others who have been heaved. 1 ball, 1 strike out on Encarnacion. That ball put up in the air. Not deep. Not deep at all. Runner tagging. Playmate Snyder. They're going to send him. Throws cut off. Not enough of an arm for Snyder, even though it was a shallow fly ball. Encarnacion gets the RBI, and the ball game is tied at 1.
Well, Snyder playing a little deeper with the power, respecting the power of Encarnacion. A little jam shot. Not thinking it's deep enough, but look how far Snyder has to go when he's got all his momentum heading towards right field. Hard to get your legs underneath you, make a strong, accurate throw. Manny wisely cutting it off, looking for the back pick on Bautista.
So the ball game is tied at 1. Encarnacion with the RBI leaves a runner at first base. Bautista now with 2 away. Calabello coming up. He's got an 8-game hit streak. Continued it with a 2 for 2 in the ball game last night. And he will take the pitch down low for a ball. So Kevin Gausman surrendering that run back here on that leadoff double by Reyes, who ended up crossing the plate for the Jays. 1-0 count, 2 down. Short lead at first, Bautista. And that pitch is going to miss, and the count will go to 2-0. Calabello has just done a great job for this ball club since coming up offensively. He's hitting .350 over the last 41 ball games. And during that hit streak, 12 for 31. Davis still holding the runner at first base. Outfield grouped in the middle. Ball put down the line and right. Delman Young going over, and that will end up in the seats and foul.
Well, Kevin Gausman, definitely a purpose to his fastball here. Working it down. Looks like he locating it very well. I think that's a great sign here in the early going. Holding the high velocity. Every fastball up in the high 90s right now. See the pitch track. All 3 fastballs down at the bottom of the zone. Don't stay there. That an effective pitch, and then you can work to the top. I'm sure he'll have a lot of swing throughs at the top of the strike zone as this game progresses.
2 ball, 1 strike count. He carries a record of 11-12. Here in Canada, the press said the highly overrated Gausman will pitch for the Orioles today. We'll see. 2-1 delivery on the way, and the breaking ball will be taken down low. Working behind the hitters here, and the count will go to 3-1. Talked about him making his debut here as a starter in Toronto. It was Edwin Encarnacion. He struck out for his first major league strikeout. Encarnacion has added the sacrifice fly here in this inning. 3-1, 2 down, and put that one in and buy him at 98. No problem with the velocity.
I'll tell you, gearing up for the fastball. It's primary pitch. You really have to stay on it. 98 miles an hour in there. Good movement working onto the inner third of the plate. Calabello can't catch up to it.
So 3-2, 2 down. Davis still on the bag at first. Bautista's going to go here on the delivery. And Gausman delivers down to third base. Taken by Manny Machado. He'll make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. But a run in on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And after 1, it's 1-1.
ranks home runs per game at 2.40. That's the 4th highest. Batting average 254, 7th highest. Runs per game nearing 10, 9.34, 4th highest. And of course the ERA is going to go right along with that, 4.52. That is the highest in the American League. A very hitter-friendly ballpark.
And has arrived. Orioles concerned whether right-hander Michael Givens, who was called up from Double-A Bowie today, would make it. Obviously he has. 25 years old, 3-1 record this season, a 1.6 ERA. He's had 12 saves, 23 games with Double-A Bowie this season. If he gets in, it would be a major league debut. Burley's delivery is taken by Davis, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Chris. 0 for 4 in the ballgame last night. Chris in an 0 for 12 right now. And Burley has had troubles with him. Davis hits .296, 2 home runs off this left-hander. Orioles against the Southpaws on the year continue to put up good offensive numbers. As far as the averages are concerned, they are 8-6 against left-handers. Into the shift. Long throw. Goins gets it. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Deborah Brown from Charlotte Hall, has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit today. Play baseball buck scratch-offs went up to $50,000. Non-winning tickets, enter them for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. With Burley, you read all promo copy as quickly as possible. Speed it up, or we'll miss 3 pitches. Here is Nolan Reimold, 0 for 1 last night. Reimold had the line of the day. He looked at the lineup card and he said, "What does the 8 mean?" He had never played center field at the major league level, and 8, of course, is the number for the center fielder, and that's what was on the lineup card. 2-1 pitch on the way. Turned that one over. A little foul tip at the plate, 2-2.
Yeah, Burley really tries to dictate the tempo and pace of a ball game, working very fast. And you think you can step out and get him and maybe disrupt him by laying a bunt down. He's a Gold Glove pitcher as well.
Fastball got him.
Changing speeds and locations throughout the count. That has been his trademark, what led him to 206 career wins. Here, the high fastball, just 85 miles an hour, but locking Reimold up.
So 2 down here in the 2nd inning. J.J. Hardy will take the pitch away. Hardy hitting just 156 in his career off Burley with 1 home run. Outside corner strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. Everybody straight away in the defense. That goes to short. Reyes off the carpet. That's a Burley inning right there. He retires the side in order. It'll be Martin, Navarro, and Pilar scheduled up for the Jays. 4 2/3 shut out the Marlins last night, 7 innings, as the Reds a 5-0 win over Florida. Toronto's now gone 3,920 consecutive without a no-hitter. The last one thrown by Dave Stieb in 1990. Only San Diego, Cleveland, and Milwaukee have gone longer than that without a no-hitter. And Matt Whistler last night allowed only 1 run, 8 innings. His major league debut. The Braves got a 2-1 win over the Mets on Friday night. More and more young arms showing up.
Yeah, keep coming up to the big leagues and showing what they can do. Early success for the young arms.
Did not play in the ball game last night. Back in Russell Martin, their catcher, and Martin will take the breaking ball from Gausman for a strike. Yet another player who, like Donaldson, has made a real difference on this team. 317 over the last 11 ball games for Martin. And Gausman hit him. Caught him on the leg, and the fans immediately react, but obviously not intended. Now they're saying that they were questioning whether he actually got hit. He pointed to his elbow.
Caleb Joseph Price said, "You sure that didn't hit the bat?" 94-mile-an-hour fastball riding in. He's looks like he's committing to the swing and catching it on that back elbow. He doesn't like getting hit with the hard fastball, but not a bad fastball. Just inside.
That's his throwing arm, too.
Pretty much his own doing, though.
So he's on. Hit batter. First one by Gausman this year. Leadoff man on both of the first 2 innings. Here's Navarro. He's DHing. Switch hitter. Caught last night. Takes the pitch for a strike. He's not had a hit in his last 13 at-bats, including an 0 for 3 that he had in the ball game last night, and he's 0 for 3 against Kevin Gausman. Martin the lead at first. Deano Navarro will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. So Kevin will get ahead of him here and go 0-2.
A couple good fastballs there from Kevin Gausman. First one outside, next one inside. See his distribution there. The breaking ball is the curve. Kind of experimented with that in spring training. No longer will you see the slider.
Under the arms, up and in. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Orioles really looking for some help from Gausman in terms of quality length. With Mike Wright having gone only an inning and a third in the ball game last night, they were saved by Tyler Wilson's relief effort of 5 2/3 innings. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that'll be outside to him. And the count goes to 2-2.
Well, Kevin would love to be able to get out there and throw into the 7th or 8th inning. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have a pitch limit on him, probably right around 80 pitches. Been in the bullpen for the season with the Orioles, and then on his rehab assignment. Didn't log many innings either.
And that ball is ripped to the corner. It is a foul ball. Yeah, Gausman has only worked 12 innings at the major league level this season. And Buck Showalter said before the game, as Mike noted, there will be some kind of a limit. He wouldn't specify exactly what it was, but 80 sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, when Kevin Gausman was in spring training, he was competing for a 5th spot. They didn't know how Ubaldo Jimenez was going to respond over the offseason, and Ubaldo had a good spring. They figured, well, let's move Kevin Gausman to the bullpen. We'll keep his arm fresh.
That's going to be a base hit into right field. Delvin Young charging, making the turn. Throw will come into the cutoff man. Nope, goes all the way through, but not in time. Good base running by Martin. Navarro out of the 0 for 13, and Toronto covers the corners with nobody out.
You get Martin on first base, and Navarro hooking it into that hole. Martin kind of waiting for the ground ball, and then realizing how far Delvin Young is playing, how deep he's playing. So I'm going to head on over to third base, and makes it easily.
So another scoring chance for the Jays. First and third with nobody out. The infield will play for 2. Pilar with a 4-game hit streak. Had a 2 for 4 in the ball game last night. Runners off first and third. Pilar will take it, gets away, and a run will score. Only one base all the way to the backstop and underneath. So the wild pitch, the first of the year by Gausman, will give the Jays a 2-1 lead.
Now spiking the breaking ball. You're throwing a breaking ball early in the count, especially to a hitter like Pilar, bottom of the order. Just get it over. He's gearing up for the fastball, almost like a finishing curveball down in the dirt. Kicks away from Caleb Joseph. He goes down. Looks like with the spin might have caught the side of the plate.
Pitch on the way and a wild cut. Pilar trying to get a run in from second base now as Navarro moves up on the wild pitch. So there's another inning like we saw last night. A hit batter is scores on a wild pitch. Last night the Jays in the second inning had 2 runs on bases loaded walks. 1 ball, 1 strikeout. Good lead at second base for Navarro. And a swing, and that one caught Joseph. In-plate umpire asking him if he's okay. Gabe Morales.
The split change. Pilar on the backswing. Pitching Caleb right behind the head. Very dangerous spot here. Caleb going down to block the ball.
Doing so moved his body just far enough forward to get into the backswing. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be inside. Pilar acted like he thought he was out. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Good pitch, just missing in there. Well, we've seen Kevin Gausman when he's had his success at the major league level. He throws inside the hitters, both lefty and righty, and seems like his velocity goes up. Most pitchers kind of back off when they try to go in.
Good stop again by Joseph. And the count goes 3-2. Caleb's had a workout, and we're not yet through the second inning. Navarro at second base. Pilar hitting .286 in these situations this year. This is where this Toronto team has been number 1 in the majors, getting runners in scoring position and getting them home. 3-2. Gausman's delivery to him, and that'll be foul back. Saw a number this morning. The Blue Jays are 41 points better when there are runners on base than they were last year. 303 with runners in scoring position. Last year at 262. It's the largest improvement by any team in the majors. John Gibbons Ball Club, clutch hits, key hits, whatever you want to call them, they have found them so far. 3-2 delivery on the way, and a jam shot. This is going to be a tough play. Machado's got to charge it, makes the running throw and didn't get him. An infield hit, at least for the moment. Navarro goes over to third base. Pilar beating it out.
See another good fastball from Gausman riding in. All kind of lumber there. Knuckles with Pilar as well, but Pilar's speed. See how aggressive he runs the bases. Nice play by Machado, playing back with the 2 strikes. Pilar able to beat it out.
And no question on being safe, so no challenge. And again, there are runners at first and third. Still nobody out here in the second inning. Goins coming up. He's batting 9th. Had a 1-for-3 in the ball game last night. Goins 239 in these situations. Machado's in at third, back in the middle of the infield. Ball will be popped up in the air, just what Gausman needed. Shading his eyes, Manny Machado puts it away. Goins is retired. Get the first out. Well, the O's return home next Friday to begin a 3-game weekend series with the Indians. Don't miss the next fireworks night. Stay after the game. Birdland Skies have the great postgame fireworks display. You can get tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Navarro at third. Pilar at first. 1 out. Machado still in with Reyes, leadoff batter up. Doubled and scored first inning.
You have to honor the bunt here with Reyes.
And he'll pop it up. Joseph. And he'll put it away. So Gausman, a couple of big outs. He gets 2 pop outs here in the inning.
On 2 pitches, so a little over anxious by the Blue Jays. potential situation where they could start creating some separation between themselves and the Orioles. Easy outs for Kevin Gausman.
Gausman will take those, and now Donaldson coming up. So Donaldson gets another shot. He drew a walk in the first inning after Reyes a double. Now first and third with 2 down.
I think you talk about the changes in the Blue Jays. I think so much of it comes from the addition of Josh Donaldson and their catcher Russell Martin. A couple of veteran players, proven big league players, have made an impact not only with what they've done with the bat, but I think just their emotions and how they play the game has really changed this kind of clubhouse feel for the Blue Jays, and they're running with it right now.
Yep. 1-0 count. Donaldson will take the pitch. It'll be inside. Count goes 2-0. Eastern Division, in the ball games that were played yesterday, the Orioles the only team to suffer a loss yesterday. Tampa Bay's won 3 in a row. So have the Yankees. So has Toronto. Boston's won 2 in a row. Orioles have lost 2 in a row. They're 4 games out. Toronto 2 games behind Tampa Bay. Pitch on the way, and that'll be on the inside corner. Donaldson just didn't want to go after that one. And a 2-1 count.
If you are not prepared for that inner third, 97, 98 miles an hour, you better take it. You're going to be hitting it off your ankles, shattering a bat.
Navarro edging off third base. Case of a wild pitch. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. That one he did want, and he fouled it back. Talk about where the standings are. How much does the run differential mean?
Well, right now, not too much. Tampa Bay leading the way in the East, but look at their run differential, just plus 17. The Blue Jays and Orioles. Blue Jays at plus 84. Orioles plus 35. Not too bad right there. Red Sox way down, but Tampa Bay obviously doing it with pitching and maybe some smoke and mirrors. I mean, my goodness, they've used 44 players, 16 rookies this year, 26 different pitchers. All their top pitchers hurt. Cobb, Moore, Smiley, Odorizzi, all in the DL. How are they doing it? Unbelievable.
It's kind of scary if they start getting people back.
Right?
2-ball, 2-strike count. Runners off first and third, and there's another pop-up. This one to second base, Ryan Flaherty. And he's got a great job by Kevin Gausman. As only 1 run will score in a wild pitch, couple of hits, and 2 are left on. Jays up by 1. Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller. CN Tower and a lot of blue sky behind it here in Toronto. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick. Blue Jays have the 2-1 lead as we go to the 3rd inning. Burley is trying to win his 4th game against the Orioles this season. There are only 2 other pitchers who've had 4 wins against the Orioles before July 1. since the Orioles arrived in Baltimore. Bunting for a base hit. Burley fell down. That's going to be a single. Burley trying to get off the mound, just slipped, and a good bunt. Ryan Flaherty.
Very good bunt. Blue Jays playing the big shift, knowing Goins is back in right field. And it's a tough job trying to bunt on Burley. Gold Glove pitcher, fields his position very well. But with the slip, Flaherty able to pick up the single.
So the Orioles get the leadoff man on for the second time in 3 innings. Caleb Joseph, 4 for 10 and a home run lifetime off Burley. Third hit for the Orioles. Runner goes, ball gets away, and no throw. So a runner in scoring position.
Nice anticipation right there by Ryan Flaherty. Ball gets away for a little secondary lead. Look at Ryan Flaherty, top of the screen. A little hesitation. Then when he sees Martin can't find the ball, he's off and running.
Calling that a pass ball. So a runner in scoring position right away for the Orioles and Caleb Joseph. Orioles 3 for 8 in the ball game last night in these situations. Infield is playing in. They're going to go to the plate if they can here on the right side. Shortstop Reyes staying back, as is Donaldson at third. And now they back up Goins, the second baseman. They've moved in on the pitch. See if they do it again here. Nope, and the pitch inside. The other pitchers who had 4-0 marks against the Orioles before July 1, Allie Reynolds of the Yankees back in '54 and C.C. Sabathia in 2010. Down to third base. Runner's got a hold. Donaldson makes sure and records the out. Manny Machado coming up, and now Never Stop Improving, brought to you by Lowe's.
Oh, Manny Machado was on this list. Most hits before 23rd birthday, and this is since 1969. Beltre 466. There's Manny 406. Zimmerman, Buddy Bell, George Brett on the list there, and Manny Machado. That number would have been higher for Manny if he had not spent some time on the disabled list with a couple knee surgeries.
Runner at second for him. He doubled his first time up and scored. And the pitch from Burley taken for a strike. He's now 7 for 20. Lifetime off Burley. Said the Orioles 270 off left-handers, 253 off right-handers this year. And their win at 8-6 against left-handed starters is the 6th best win percentage against lefty starters in the American League. Flaherty off second base. 1-1 delivery by Burley will be fouled off.
Continues to work that cutter down and in. Change of speeds with it. We'll throw a curveball off the cutter, and of course the changeup. Good group. First 3 pitches down and in.
1-2 delivery. Off speed pitch out in front of that. And that 2 will be fouled off. Burley at the age of 36, 206 wins and 156 losses. Became the 4th active pitcher to reach 200 wins against the Orioles. He did it on April 10. 1-2. And just misses on the outside corner, framed for an extra moment by Martin. Manny with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Trying to get this ball game evened up inside corner. Manny was ready to go before it was called.
Well, home plate umpire Gabe Morales gave Burley the inside pitch earlier in the bat. See on the pitch track, probably just inside off the plate. He thinks it catches the front corner of home plate. You see the cut action working itself down and in.
Burley trying to get out of this after the leadoff man Flaherty got on with that bunt single. Snyder, he'll take the pitch for a strike. Snyder picked up a base hit his first at bat. Very little difference, as we showed you at the beginning. Lefty righties 279, 278. Can't get much closer than that. Pitch on the way, will miss inside. Burley hitters are 250 with runners in scoring position against him, which is just about 4 points below the American League average. That'll be outside. 2-1.
Burley has pitched very well recently for the Blue Jays. A couple complete games in his last 6 starts. Obviously, by watching him and following his career, he knows how to pitch.
Ball put up in the air. Third baseman Donaldson. A lot of reflection there on this guy. So Burley does work out of it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Bottom of the third coming up. The New York Times at 3,000 with bullet and asterisk. In the Sportsnet.com, Blue Jays Orioles rivalry keeps getting better. And in SI.com, Cardinals hacking scandal, first major test for Rob Manfred. Reading some of the stories on A-Rod's hit last night, Tony Pena would not shake his hand at first base when he went by. He backed off. The Detroit Tigers, the opposing team, their bench did not applaud. He stayed in the dugout and didn't say anything. He smiled. I'm sure many of you have seen it, the replay. Mike and I were talking about this morning. To me, it's so sad that such a magic moment ends up in such on equilibrium around baseball. Bautista. And the pitch is a strike in the inside corner, and he didn't like that.
Yeah, well, Alex Rodriguez, I think those numbers more represent him than for baseball. I think everybody else that's reached that 3,000 club, they take it as part of one of the great baseball numbers.
The third, Manny Machado's got it, gets up, has time. Outstanding play. Manny off the carpet. Makes it look pretty easy.
Beautiful defense. Orioles defense been outstanding actually up until last night's ball game. Made a couple errors, but getting the eyes down low, seeing the baseball, and the athletic move here, letting the momentum go instead of resetting the other way. Just let the body go all the way around, gets his feet under him. It's like a walk in the park for Manny Machado.
Here's Encarnacion. Kevin Gausman delivers to him. It'll miss for a ball. RBI on a sacrifice fly his first time up, so he's now got 41 on the year. Orioles shift the infield, playing him to pull. And the fastball is in there for a strike. Tied for 10th now in RBIs, Encarnacion. Both Donaldson and Bautista are in the top 10 in the American League in runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Breaking ball in the dirt.
I like the breaking ball from Gausman. Last year featured the slider. And many times stayed on the same plane. Didn't have much command with that pitch. Breaking ball really changing the eye levels. More of the Chris Tillman type.
Up in the air, first base side. Davis over. A lot of foul territory. And he's got it. 2 down. And the ball's up in the air in the infield. Celebrate summer at Oriole Park. Pick up the 2015 Birdland Summer 6-pack. Any 6 remaining games, you can enjoy savings up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets, and you select the games. Popular promotions like bobblehead dates, rivalries, your choice. You can get info at Orioles.com/6-pack or 888-848-BIRD. So Gausman after a 1-2-3 inning. Colabello coming up, grounded out his first time up. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Talking about Toronto's run differential, that 84 run differential is the best in the majors. And they are a +75 here at home. That is also best in the majors. Foul back into the second deck and a 2-strike count.
Well, it seems like some of the pieces that they've had to plug in. Devin Travis, their star second baseman, has been out, and he got off to an incredible start offensively for the Blue Jays. They call Colabello up, and all he's done is hit almost 400 since his arrival.
Colabello in a check swing, went around. Home plate umpire the call. That'll be the first strikeout picked up by Kevin Gausman, but he retires the side in order, and we've completed 3 here in Toronto. Buck Showalter talked about it.
Him last night getting hit with a pitch and sprinting to first base the way it's supposed to be done. I mean, that's Adam. And, you know, he's not going to get his team in harm's way with theatrics and drama. And he understands the game. He actually looks at it as a badge of respect and honor for someone to throw at him. You know, they don't throw at bad hitters.
Adam Jones going down, unlike obviously the reference being made to Bautista.
Right.
He stared out at the pitcher, yapped with the bench after he got down to first base. So Buck wanting to make sure that got pointed out how Adam treated it.
And I think that was rightfully so by Buck Showalter to say that. Adam Jones, a great pro.
Adam at the plate, and he'll drive that one deep and foul. Burley's had no walks and 2 strikeouts. Gausman a walk and a strikeout. Toronto 2 runs, 3 hits. They've left 3. The Orioles 1 run, 3 hits. They have left 1. We are in the 4th inning. 36-year-old left-hander will get Jones, and no argument from Adam.
Pinpoint accuracy right there. Cut fastball really working in well this afternoon against the Orioles. First pitch away, second pitch in, and then dots at 86. It's not because anything's overpowering. When the ball gets about halfway, you have to make the determination: is it going to fade down and away? Is it going to cut in? Is it going to be soft in front of the plate? I mean, all of his pitches, different speeds, different locations. Really hard to stay back and trust what you see.
Delman Young hitting in the 4th spot. Why? Lifetime .373 average and 4 home runs off Burley. Donaldson, 2 down. Burley does it with some unusual numbers. He's given up the 8th most hits coming into the ballgame. He gives up more than a hit per inning on the season. Not many walks. It's about hitting the ball, putting it in play. Chris Davis. Davis did that and grounded out his first time up. 2 down, nobody on.
Yeah, he just
broken back pop up into the shift. Bautista charging, sliding, and makes the catch. Good play by Jose Bautista coming in from right, because Goins, the second baseman, was not going to get there. 1-2-3 inning. Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com and by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. It's right across the street from the Rogers Center. The train that everybody, kids of all ages, get to ride on. Spencer, that's for you. There's the Rogers Center right there. Big crowd on hand, probably about 40,000. The ballpark here, a sunny day, roof open. And right now, a 2-1 lead. Russell Martin will lead it off against Kevin Gausman. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll be right back with you. Chris Tillman, Scott Copeland. Copeland filling in for Sanchez. 2 right-handers go in the Sunday game. 12:30 goes extra. 1 o'clock for the ball game on Masson and WJZ. Russell Martin plunked on the elbow, leading off the second inning with score. Reyes doubling, leading off the first inning with score. And that pitch is just going to miss inside. The count will go to 2-0.
Gausman looking pretty good. Of course, a couple early runs, but I like his velocity, I like his composure.
Fouled off, only 23. Another future part of this rotation, if all goes well. That's what the Orioles obviously hope for. Dylan Bundy, another updated report on him. 2-ball, 1-strike count here. And a check swing strike called on that outside corner. He didn't think so. A couple of words from Russell Martin. Dylan Bundy, not as good a news as the Orioles had hoped on Bundy. They had an MRI taken, and the Oriole doctors took a look at it, and Buck Showalter said not as positive as hoped for. Inflammation right shoulder. That's all he'd say. Goes to short, backhanded Hardy. Long throw is in time. And our PNC minor league report.
I'll take a look at Mr. Joe Gunkel, right-handed pitcher, and Bowie doing very well since coming over with the Alejandro Diaza trade. Diaza to the Red Sox. Gunkel over here with the Orioles. 3 starts, 20 innings, .85 whip. Very good numbers for Gunkel. He's 23 years old.
Same age as Kevin Gausman. Navarro picked up a base hit his first time up. That ended an 0 for 13 for him. He's taking all the way. Didn't even move the bat off his shoulder. Kevin Gausman's had a lot of 2-0 starts. Generally not favorable to him in his career. 214 if he gets the first strike. 280 if he does not. Career numbers. Pitch will be taken up high again. The count goes to 3-0. Villar waiting on deck for Toronto. Shift on against Navarro. And he'll take it. So far, the bat really hasn't left his shoulder in this at bat. DHing today. Here's a 3-1 pitch, and he takes that one, and it's a strike.
Well, come back this far, you might as well finish it off, Kevin.
Navarro's hitting more like a pitcher than a catcher. Just watching. Here's the full count delivered. He goes after it and pops it up. Flaherty in fair territory. 2 down. Next Saturday, when the Orioles take on the Indians, the first 25,000 fans 15 and over get the Buck Showalter Garden Gnome. Don't miss this unique keepsake. It'll become an instant collector's item for Birdland fans everywhere. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Just in time for the summer months in the Garden. Your gnome from the Showalters.
Yeah, keep the foxes away and the crows and all that.
Pitch will be taken down low. Villar, base hit his first time up. One 0 pitch on the way. That'll be taken up high. If the gnome is anything like its namesake, it will attract a lot of squirrel nut candies. Here's the 2-0 delivery on the way, and that one's up high. And the Jays are just coming to the plate with bat on shoulder.
Yeah.
He's thrown so many pitches early in the count out of the strike zone, they're waiting on him. 3-0 delivery on the way. He comes back, has come back so far in these counts, 3-1.
Yeah, the last 2 fastballs that were up in the zone, you could see a little bit of a mechanical flaw, the elbow kind of dropping down a little, and that maybe fatigue starting to get to Gausman.
And again, after a 3-0 count, takes it full 3-2. With pitching coach Dave Wallace. Kevin Pillar, 3-ball, 2-strike count, 2 down. And Pillar will put that one up in the air again. Lots of territory here. And it'll be back a couple of rows behind the dugout. And it will remain at 3-2.
Kevin Gausman all the way to the Orioles dugout. Want to make that out. Buck Showalter and pitching coach Dave Wallace talking, obviously being in close communication about Kevin Gausman, understanding when they're going to be taking him out or thinking about it, watching the pitch count and his mechanics very carefully.
This will be the second 3-2 delivery. And Pillar will line it right to second base. Flaherty is there, and again the positioning, the reason that's not a base hit. And another 1-2-3 innings. So that's going to be 9 in a row retired by Gausman, while the Jays maintain a 2-1 lead. Red hot Pirates. 21 out of the last 27. Best record in the majors since May 22nd. Giancarlo Stanton, can he hit a home run? 25 through 69 games. Fewest games needed to reach that since A-Rod did it in 07. And D. Gordon of the Marlins, 100 hits. And that leads the majors.
My gosh, 100 hits. Has anybody ever gotten 300 hits in a year?
No. That is Reyes. You came close. And the out recorded on the first pitch. Rimo. We're going to look that one up. The most hits ever recorded in a season. What do you think? Ty Cobb, Rogers Hornsby. I don't either. My guess is about 256. I have no idea why I have that number. Here is J.J. Hardy. Hardy grounded out his first time up. If it's possible, Burley's working faster as the game goes along. He was the fastest pitcher last year, and he's even faster this year. That'll be fouled away. Last year, between pitches, 17.3 seconds. This year, 16. 1-2 delivery. And if the hitters would just get ready quicker, he'd be faster.
Yeah. Well, this is a veteran guy. He knows what he's doing. Has a feel for all of his pitches. So many pitchers have to take their time, just to kind of focus on the glove. And Burley just has a feel for everything. He knows what all of his pitches can do. Why waste the time?
3-2 delivery on the way. Foul back. He does not go to pitchers meetings. He does not look at video. Rarely ever reviews the printed scouting reports. I throw what I throw. They hit it. They hit it.
Yeah, this is what I've got.
Broken back, ground ball. It's going to be a tough play. Shortstop Reyes makes it. Donaldson getting out of the way as he moved in, thinking about cutting it off.
Well, these two haven't played together for too long, so a little miscommunication. Donaldson showing his range, but realizing Reyes a better angle to the baseball gives way, and then Reyes has to use his athletic ability to make the fine play to get Hardy. A little bit of a hesitation, gets his feet kind of tangled up, and the off balance throw on the money.
A couple of ground balls to short here in the fifth. Flaherty a base hit, bunt single last time up, shift on against him. Jays have the lead 2-1. Orioles got a run in the first inning. RBI. Jones and a fielder's choice scoring Manny Machado, who doubled. Jays responded in the bottom half. Leadoff double by Reyes, sac fly by Encarnacion. And then Martin hit by a pitch to lead off the second inning, would score later on a wild pitch. 1-1.
Mark Burley, many people kind of think of as the Cal Ripken of pitchers. Never been on the disabled list. Over 450 games, 474 games without being on the disabled list as a pitcher. Of course, the amazing numbers since 2001. He started at least 30 games and thrown 200 innings or more. I mean, 14 years of that.
Unheard of in this day and age. 2-2 delivery on the way. That's foul back. Flaherty battling. Flaherty came in 1 for 2 off Burley, but he's had a couple of real good at bats. Laid down the great bunt. Got him on leading off the third. He's the only stranded base runner the Orioles have had, got left on at second. Struck him out. 4 strikeouts, a 1-2-3 inning. And Burley sets him down in order. Jays lead by 1. GNC for the achiever in you. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon here in Toronto. Rogers Center downtown with the roof open as it was last night. And a real good pitchers duel underway, 2-1. Here there are these two high-powered home run hitting teams. You haven't had a home run in the first game and a half.
No. And the Orioles offense, which was so red hot, cooling down a little bit. Yesterday's ball game, no hit through about 7 1/3, and then ended up picking up their knocks at the end of the ball game. But here once again today, a little quiet, only 3 hits on the board for both teams.
Blue Jays tied for second in homers with 84. Orioles are fourth with 82 in the American League. Brian Goins, and another start to account with the ball. He popped out his first time up. Kevin Gausman's retired 9 in a row. Setting him down in order the last 2 innings, and he got the final 3 outs of the second inning after the first 3 batters had reached and 1 scored. 2-0 count, shift on. Swing and a miss on the pitch, down and away. So Goins with a 2-ball 1-strike count.
See the velocity kind of easing back here in the middle part of this ball game, but Kevin always keeps a little extra in the tank.
That one will just miss down low. 2 pitchers going at it and in a hurry in this game. 3-ball 1-strike count. Goins will take it on the inside corner. He had hoped to go to first. Count goes full, 3-2.
Great fastball. Nice comeback movement, catching that inner third on the 5th pitch after dotting 3 fastballs down and away.
3-2 delivery on the way to him. Goins will pop that one up. Shallow left. Shortstop, third baseman down. Manny Machado. He's got it. Next Saturday, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the Orioles Indians game. That'll be at 1:35. Get the Orioles cap presented by DAP. Don't miss the annual fan favorite. Summer afternoon at the ballpark, and cap to go home with. For tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Jose Reyes a double and a run scored. Brings Machado in at third. Shows bunt. Takes the pitch for a strike.
Everybody shortening up, even Ryan Flaherty preparing for the bunt.
Reyes hitting .321 against the Orioles coming into the ball game. That's for this year. Lashes it, or tried to. He wanted to punch that by Manny Machado at third base.
Good change, split change there from Kevin Gausman, and Reyes, the veteran hitter, even though fooled and the body out in front, able to control the bat head and almost slap it in play the other way.
Fouls that one back. And right at the 80 pitch count, the bullpen phone rings for the Orioles. Literally. That's why I was looking down to see if anybody was warming up. As soon as the 80 came up, phone rang. And the bullpen taking a look to see who they want to get up. Chops that one foul. We said Gausman not on a strict count, but as Mike mentioned, 80 about the number, and seemingly that's what it's going to be. Probably let him try and get through this inning, trailing by only 1, so if the Orioles can get a lead, he could perhaps win a game. That one's going to be outside. Reyes missed their activity there at the plate. He's just a bundle of energy.
Yeah.
Even on a ball outside, he almost falls over. Chaz Rowe in the bullpen. Swings at one that was up and out of the strike zone, and then pounds his hand on the bat.
Yeah, a couple nice changes down and away to Reyes, kind of getting in his head, so trying to sneak the fastball up in the zone by him, and Reyes probably the whole at bat saying get him up, finally up, but that's 97 at the top of the zone.
And takes that inside. So Reyes, leadoff batter, 2-2. Donaldson and Bautista to follow.
Take a look at that last fastball. Real good one. Could have gone either way.
2-2 delivery on the way to him. He just pokes at it towards center field. Reimold's first chance. And he's now officially in the books, having made a play in center field in the major leagues. Attention O's fans, Massa wants to upgrade your fan cave. Show us how you're backing the Birds while the team's on the road by tagging your tweets using hashtag #OsCouchCam. You'll be automatically entered to win autographed memorabilia. Follow at Massa Orioles on Twitter for more information. Reimold did play 51 games in center field in the minors. First game, though, in the majors. And that is a strike taken. Donaldson up, 2 down, nobody on. 11 in a row have been retired by Kevin Gausman. Donaldson has popped out and drawn a walk. The only walk surrendered by Kevin today. Donaldson on a rip and a pitch in on it.
Well, great curveball to start Donaldson off with. One of the first that he started to hit her off with a strike. It's a nice pitch, and that makes that fastball in the inside corner look that much better. 96 miles an hour. Get ahead.
Here's the 0-2 delivery. Donaldson to the middle. Flaherty. Long throw off the mark. It'll be a base hit. Good play by Christus. Get off the bag and leave it at a single. Donaldson on with 2 down.
Nice effort there by Ryan Flaherty. Once again showing the good range. Ball on the shortstop side. Not enough time to set up. Try to get the ball over there in the air. You've seen many times when a middle infielder has to leave his feet with his momentum going away. Sometimes he'll try to bounce the ball. There, Ryan thinking, got to get it in the air for any chance of making him out.
Dangerous situation here. Runner on, 2 down. Bautista's grounded out, hit into a fielder's choice. Trying to put one out over the wall. 2-1 lead. That's hit number 4 for Toronto, hitting the Orioles 4-3 at the moment. Bautista here at home hitting .245, .257 on the road. Home run wise, almost the same. 7 here, 6 away. Gausman, the 0-1 delivery to him. Bautista goes after it. That may be playable down into foul territory. And Manny Machado gets there and puts it away, and that'll do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. If that is it for Gausman, he has spoken loud and clear in this game. With Kevin Gausman, but not shaking his hand, and he may be coming back in. Take a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Yeah, Kevin Gausman looking really good to this point, but take a look at this. Lowest run support per 9 innings pitched as a starter since 2013. Kevin Gausman leading the way. Just 3.33 runs per game when he pitches. And same thing kind of happening today. Orioles offense only putting 1 run on the board. And use a little offensive outburst here in this inning.
On the other side, you got Mark Burley, who ranks 3rd in the majors in run support at 7+ a game. 1-0 delivery by Burley will be wrapped foul into the seats. Look up. Caleb Joseph grounded out his first time up. Burley has now retired 9 in a row. Gausman retired 11 in a row before the Donaldson single. Pitch on the way will be scooped. All right, the most hits all time. Mike raised the question. Pete Browning in 1887 at 275. That's the most ever. Tip O'Neill, 1887. Oh, the 275. Tied with him. Ichiro at 262, 2004. That'll be in the Power Alley center field. Pilar over. He's got it. And George Sisler at 257 in 1920. So those are the top 4. 275, Browning and O'Neill. That's back in 1887. Ichiro 262 in 04, and Sisler 257 in 1920.
Very nice.
That's a lot of hits.
Yeah, Ichiro similar to D. Gordon as far as speed at that time, and get on base many different ways by bunt, infield hit.
Pete Browning hit 457 1887 when he had those hits. Fouled off. Manny Machado has doubled and struck out. One down, nobody on. Burley hasn't walked anybody. He struck out 4.
Looked like he finally broke a sweat there, wiping it off his forehead.
Headlines. 1-2 delivery, foul back. Having a great month of June is both the pitcher and hitter here. Burley putting up the big numbers. Manny Machado came in 347 this month. That one will be taken down low. Two ball, 2 strike count. And Machado foul tips. Count will stay at 2-2.
Boy, that cutter in on righties has been a very effective pitch for Burley. Getting swing and misses on pitches that are ending up 8-10 inches off the inside corner.
2-2 hit hard. Base hit. So Manny Machado is on. His second hit. The Orioles have a runner on, 6th inning with 1 down. Take a look at our upcoming schedule, brought to you by Mile One Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at mile1.com.
One more here at the Rogers Center tomorrow afternoon at 1. Then on to Boston Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A couple night games in that Thursday game. Businessman Special, 1:30.
Travis Snyder a base hit, and he's popped out. Miguel Gonzalez will be rejoining the Orioles in Boston. He's starting today at AA Bowie. And then the plan is for him to pitch the game on the 25th in Boston. 1-0 delivery. That will be inside. 2-0. Manny Machado on at first base. Snyder, a base hit, has popped out. Each team with 4 hits. Inside corner, strike taken. Predominantly right-handers in this lineup for the Orioles. 3 lefties with Snyder, Davis, and Flaherty. But as we said with Burley, there's only a 1-point difference, so who cares?
Right. And Snyder's had some success in his career off Burley. 5 hits, 12 at bats, 13 at bats now.
Manny Machado, 2-ball, 2-strike count. In the air, they weren't playing him that way. Colabello's got a long run. That's going to be a base hit. Coming around third, Manny Machado. It's a double. So it will save the run by bouncing into the stands, at least for the moment. So Snyder has picked up his second hit. So both Manny Machado and Snyder are 2 for 3 in the ballgame.
Snyder picking up his 9th double, and the Blue Jays catching a break there as the ball kicks off the turf and up into the stands. Pitch on the outer third, and he goes and gets it. Colabello filling up the gap, so not even close. There goes a souvenir. Manny Machado thinking about scoring, but Bobby Dickerson holding him up.
So now, with only one away, Adam Jones, who has struck out, hit into a fielder's choice, has a chance to put the Orioles up 2 in scoring position. Pitch will miss inside. Adam with that big .410 average and 2 home runs off Burley coming into the game. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Jones will take that inside as well. And the count goes to 2-0. See Burley at 77 pitches thrown.
Now Burley's not going to give in. A couple cutters there.
And they'll walk him.
I'm thinking, okay, if Adam Jones hits one of these cutters, it's going to be a ground ball to third, and that'll keep Machado there. Well, misses, so why not put him on and get the double play in order.
So Adam Jones draws his 3rd intentional pass of the year. That is the first walk of any kind surrendered by Burley today. So here's a big chance for the Orioles. Delman Young has grounded out twice, once into a double play. He, like Jones, has hit Burley hard. Told you he's got a .373 career average, 4 home runs against Mark Burley. And the delivery to him, and Young puts it up in the air. Maybe deep enough, we'll see. Colabello at third. Machado. Catch is made. Machado's going to come. Here's the throw to the plate. Tag. Not in time. Martin wants to argue it, and he wants his manager to challenge it. And John Gibbons is out and looking back to his video team.
A nice aggressive play by Bobby Dickerson and the Orioles. Manny might have got that foot underneath as Martin straddling home plate. Colabello, not the best defensive outfielder, doesn't get any momentum behind the ball. Makes an accurate throw, but not enough on it. And you see Martin straddling, Machado in.
He will challenge it, but boy, that overhead look certainly shows he got in ahead of it. So the Orioles, if this stands, and I think it will, have tied the ball game up. Delman Young in a sacrifice fly and an RBI.
Nice slide there by Manny Machado, recognizing the positioning of Martin. And that is exactly what you have to do. So he's giving him a lane. Then when the ball comes in, the straddling of home opens up the perfect lane for Machado. And that right foot catching the edge before the tag. Great call.
Gabe Morales, home plate umpire, right on it. Dale Scott, the crew chief, and the home plate umpire, in communication with New York. That angle you can't tell because of dust.
Yeah, so there's no way they can possibly overturn it.
That one does.
Yeah, you can see his foot.
Shows he's in there. So the walking, the intentional pass to Adam Jones doesn't exactly backfire. But Delman Young does get the run. And the call safe stands, and the ball game is tied at 2. So credit the RBI to Delman Young. There's Manny Machado, who comes in to score. Young picks up his 16th RBI of the season. Manny Machado has scored both runs for the Orioles in this ball game, and he's now up to 47 runs scored this season. And that will move Manny up in the top 10 ranking even more, tying him for 4th with Brett Gardner of the Yankees. First and second, 2 down.
I'll tell you, different situations in ball games. Manny Machado might not have been sent there, the shallow fly ball, but you have to know your outfield and you have to know the feel of the game. Burley showing the great command and poise once again against the Orioles, and Bobby Dickerson recognizing the situation and the outfield arm strength. Great send there.
Both bullpens are active. Davis, he has flied out, grounded out. Fine play made on him by Bautista in right field his last time up. Chris looking to get out of an 0 for 14 that he's in right now.
And with 2 outs, Snyder can really expand the lead. With a good jump. Adam Jones as well. Infield back on the right side.
Davis will take the pitch outside. Chris hitting .363 coming into the game against Toronto this year, and has had 2 home runs against Blue Jays pitching. 2-2, 2 down. Way inside. Full count, 3-2 on Davis. Orioles trying to get the lead in the game. They had it top of the first inning, 1-0. Toronto tied it bottom of the first. Toronto took the lead in the second, 2-1. Now the Orioles have tied it up here in the 6th. The runners go, and it's fouled off.
A base hit in the right spot. Potentially score Adam Jones off and running on the 3-2 2-out count.
Machado watching, hoping somebody else can score besides himself here in this inning. 7th pitch of the at bat, 3-2 delivery, and Davis strikes out. 5 strikeouts for Burley. The Orioles, though, will get a run on 2 hits, leave 2 on base. Ball game is tied 2-2.
A very good start from Kevin after spending all year in the bullpen and then some time on the disabled list. Putting the fastball in there to get Donaldson to pop up, get out of a jam, riding another high fastball in. Great fastball velocity today. Worked it well, 74% of the time with the heater. Breaking ball, a little bit inconsistent, but showed flashes of some plus and always the good change 20% of the time. 5 innings, still 4 hits, a couple earned runs for Kevin Gausman. Good outing there. Now it's time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. Chaz Rowe now in out of the Orioles bullpen. Fastball 68% of the time, and it has been on. Spot on. The breaking ball, the slider, 35% of the time. 11 games, has 2 wins. This could be an opportunity to pick up number 3. Just a 1.13 earned run average.
And Encarnacion will lead it off against him. Sacrifice fly first inning, and he is popped out. So ball game tied at 2-2, non-decision for Kevin Gausman. The Orioles put the shift on against the cleanup batter. 0-1 delivery to him, and a swing and a miss. Way out in front, and a pitch out and away at 83.
That is a nasty slider from Chaz Rowe. He has had a great feel for that pitch. Being called up here to the big club. And he's been pitching outstanding for Buck Showalter.
0-2. And that'll be outside. So, bullpen again being called on to get it done, and they've certainly done that. Especially of late. They have been outstanding. The bullpen for the Orioles and a lot of innings eaten up. Encarnacion will just tap that one foul at the plate. For Rowe, this will be the first appearance he has made against this Toronto team this season. Showalter getting the 5 innings he probably expected out of Gausman. 1-2 pitch on the way. Driven high in the air to left field. Way up. And that'll be handled by Snyder, and there's one down. Join Orioles Reach and support a Shannon's Fund, helping families and patients at the University of Maryland Medical Center. Special fundraiser before Friday's game against Cleveland. $50 a game ticket. Access to a pregame event beginning at 5, including a player appearance, batting practice from the roof deck, a gift, and voucher drinks. For tickets and more, go to Orioles.com/Shannon's Fund. Colabello coming up with one away. Chris Colabello has grounded out, strikeout, pitch taken away. Toronto working on a 3-game win streak. Orioles trying to even up this 3-game set for a rubber match tomorrow. 1-0 delivery, and that'll be inside. Chaz Rowe, 28 years old, originally selected by Colorado in the first round. He was a 32nd overall pick in 2005. 2-0 delivery on the way, and a chopper foul.
Well, Chaz Rowe, another one of these big arms brought in for some depth. Had a great spring training. Went on down to AAA in Norfolk and put up some unbelievable numbers. The first bullpen arms called up, and he hasn't looked back. I mean, he's really starting to establish himself as a mainstay in the Orioles pen.
2-1 delivery, and took a little off that and fooled him. He had Colabello leaning in, but he couldn't move the bat, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the Orioles so far holding down this offense of Toronto, and Toronto doing the same to the Orioles. 2-2. Timeout asked for. Jays are number 1 in runs. Orioles are number 3. Average wise, Orioles are 5th. Jays are 3rd. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that will miss outside. Full count.
Oh, great try. Nice call. That's where you want to put it. He throws that slider hard in the outside corner, and you get that late break. Colabello will recognize it soon enough and hold up.
Three-two delivery to him, and he struck him out. It's only the second strikeout. Gausman had 1. Colabello's got 1, 2 down.
Great fastball, 95 miles an hour. Colabello maybe a little in between. Saw a couple nasty sliders from Rowe. Well placed. And great velocity.
That will bring up Russell Martin. The catcher hit by a pitch, scored in the 2nd inning, and he is grounded out. Scored on a wild pitch. Encarnacion sac fly, the other run for Toronto. The Orioles, Jones, fielder's choice RBI. Tied it up, sac fly by Delman Young. 32-year-old catcher. 1-0 delivery on the way to him, and that's right there for a strike. .259 career average for Russell Martin coming in. He's been a good RBI individual over his career with power. 1-1 pitch by Rowe, and that'll be outside. 2-1.
Blue Jays really needed to get a veteran backstop, somebody that could handle this young pitching staff.
Check and held up.
That is a nasty slider. This unbelievable late finish on that pitch.
Rowe takes him to 3-1. Navarro hoping for an at bat on deck. He'll be fouled off and another full count. 3-2. Good snag with the glove. Here's the full count delivery to him, and Martin shattered bat left field. Going back, warning track near the wall. It'll hit halfway up and it'll get away. Martin on his way to second base. Good backup by Raimo. And Martin delivers a 3-2 2-out double with the barrel of the bat ending up beyond third base.
Russell Martin flexing a little bit out there at second base after picking up his 13th double. This bat explodes. You see the bat head flying out towards Machado, but gets enough to beat Snyder deep as it kicks off the wall. And unfortunately, Nolan Reimold, first start in center field at the major league level, but he's there to back it up.
So the potential go-ahead run is on at second base with 2 down. Navarro's had a base hit. He is 1 for 4. 1 for 5 rather in the series. And he will take the pitch outside for a ball. So each team with 5 hits now. Even Steven along the way for this one. We're in the 6th inning. Here's the 1-0 delivery on the way. It will miss outside 2-0.
Navarro showing the patience again. Bat on the shoulder. Just looking at one spot, one pitch, but here we go. Put him on the force at any base.
Villar waiting on deck. So each team has issued an intentional pass in the ball game. There is ball 4. Well, let's see how this works. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Ball game tied at 2-2, first and second base. Jays are 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far in the ball game. 2 on. Villar base hit, and he's lined out. And will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike.
A good breaking ball there. Even though Caleb Joseph wanting it on the outside corner, kind of backed up on him. Gives Pilar a look at the inside slider. The outside slider is going to be much more effective now as this at bat goes.
Came back inside again and gets another strike. Pilar chatting.
I was thinking that's got to be in. Once again, Caleb Joseph setting up away, but nice job receiving the baseball. Catching it outside the body, locking it up. No movement at all with the glove.
So 0-2. Martin off second base, Navarro off first. Here's the 0-2 delivery, reaching, and he got him. Rowe gets a strikeout, and the strategy works. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base. 7th inning coming up.
off the knuckles, but it's enough to put the Jays on top. Good hustle down the line. And then it's a pitcher's duel. Mark Buehrle dealing for the Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman settling in. He's dealing as well. Strikeouts from Buehrle. Strikeouts from Gausman. Then Manny Machado. He's at third base. It's a shallow fly ball off the bat of Delman Young. He's going in between the legs of Martin, scoring the tying run. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Defensive replacement. Carrera comes on to play in left field, as he did in the ball game last night. Colabello out. Buehrle on the mound, 7th inning. Nolan Reimold. Reimold has been called out on strikes and has grounded out. Nolan getting the start in center. Lines it. Base hit into left field. Carrera coming over to get it, and Reimold is on. So the Orioles get a leadoff single in this 2-2 ball game. The latest voting numbers in for the 15 All-Star game. Both Adam Jones and Manny Machado in the running for spots. Vote now for them or other Oriole favorites at Orioles.com/vote-orange. You could earn ticket discounts and the chance to win an autographed All-Star game jersey. You can vote up to 35 times with each valid email address, and that's at Orioles.com/vote-orange. Buehrle with Hardy, and the pitch will be there for a strike. J.J. Hardy 0 for 2, 2 ground balls to short. Reimold, pretty good lead over there. Pitch taken inside up to 91, as you see, for left-hander Mark Buehrle.
Buehrle very hard to run on. Very quick.
Buehrle's challenging the all-time mark for pickoffs. He's got 100 career pickoffs, 3 behind Andy Pettitte, who is the all-time leader. Only 59 stolen bases against him in his career. 1 ball, 2 strike count. To first, foul. And we should mention for Buehrle, this is his 500th career appearance, 475 as a starter.
Amazing.
It's a lot of baseballs. J.J. Hardy, 176 off left-handers this year, goes down the line. That'll be foul. Double barrel action. Schultz has been up once, up again. Osuna, who we saw in the ball game last night, has joined him. 1-2 count on Hardy. Reimold the edge at first base. Another one almost the same place.
Good try right there by JJ. The slow breaking ball, just 79 miles an hour. Back it up as long as possible. Wait. Keep the bat alive there on a tough pitch.
1-2 delivery again. Down low. Good stop by Russell Martin. 2-2. Buehrle has not thrown a wild pitch this year. He has hit 1 batter. Hardy will take it inside. So Hardy has worked the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reimold checking over at third. See whether or not they want him going. So is Hardy. This will be the 9th pitch of this at bat. 3-2, runner not going. Hardy in the air to right. Bautista back. Runner will tag. Bautista going backwards. Reimold's going to go. And with that speed, he'll make it. Good base running. Ball gets away. Buehrle backed it up. So a runner at second base with 1 away. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to the March of Dimes. 169 walks, $8,450. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Here's Ryan Flaherty. Go ahead run at second. Infield shift on again. He had a bunt single in the 3rd inning.
Great base running play by Nolan Reimold. A deep fly ball from J.J. Hardy. This is the stuff that is talked about in the scouting reports. Bautista has not thrown well since trying to throw Delman Young out. Last time the Orioles were playing here at Rogers Center. Came up with a sore arm. Really has not been able to let it fly since. Before that, one of the stronger arms in the outfield.
Flaherty goes to first. Encarnacion will take it to the bag. Reimold will go to third base, but there are 2 down. 2 away, 7th inning. Burley, there are the numbers.
Averaging 91.8, season high 111. 100 pitches. Seems like he could throw 150 pitches.
Comfortable day, 68 when we started. So the heat not a factor today for pitchers. Caleb Joseph trying to give the Orioles the lead, and the pitch inside. Caleb has grounded out and flied out. Runner at third, 2 down. Let's see what the Orioles can do with Reimold over there at third base. Joseph again will take the pitch, and again it will be down low. Caleb has been outstanding in this department, hitting at .375. Runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss. Kept it right down there. Burley did.
Yeah, so tough. I mean, you try to get inside his head and think along, but the ability to add and subtract on all of his pitches makes him that much more effective after a couple cutters. A nice change down and away.
2-1 on the inside corner. Orioles 1 for 7 today in these situations. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2-2. Down to third base. Donaldson stops it. Almost tripped. Gets here. And again, Burley works through it and lead off man on. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. 7th inning stretch time in the Toronto Sun. 2-2 game. Miller Lite.
Bautista up. Gausman with the pitch. He hammers one down the line, but Machado there. Platinum glove again. Maybe. Another fine defensive play. Spinning around, the little pirouette on the way. Spits out the seeds. A walk in the park for Manny Machado.
That'll be it for Burley. Congratulations from his manager and teammates. He will leave the ball game. Anything scored here will be to his benefit. The Orioles will go to the bullpen again.
Brad Brock now to the Orioles pen. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. Fastball 63% of the time. Breaking ball, the slider. Change 25% of the time. It is a nasty trapdoor change. 3.66 earned run average. Leading the team. Now the relievers, anyway, with 40 strikeouts out of the pen, 11 walks in his 32 innings of work, holding opponents down to a .202 average. Righties 218. Lefty's down to 186. 60% of the outs away the fly ball.
Ryan Goins, the number 9 hitter. He has popped out twice to third in the ball game. Goins 0 for 2 off Brock. Infield shifted around. Machado stays at third and in. Goins ground ball will be to Flaherty. Big hop. You got it. One away here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Take a look at our Major League Notebook on this date in baseball history. History made. 1992 for the Orioles. Kelly Saunders filled in for Rex Barney as the PA announcer at Camden Yards. Only the second woman ever to do that. And in 1994, the Tigers' streak of 25 games with a home run came to an end. Pitch on the way, taken for a ball. That streak of the Tigers, 25 straight with a homer, tied the major league record that had been set by the 41 Yankees. 1-0 delivery, and that'll bounce.
Yeah, that 94 Tigers team, you hear Buck Showalter every now and then talk about wanting big, hairy guys, you know, offensive players. That's what that Tigers team was all about. A veteran team, Cecil Fielder, Kirk Gibson, Alan Trammell, Whitaker, all those guys on that 94 team.
2-0 delivery on the way, and that ball in the air towards center field. Reimold from the sun to the shadows. Makes the catch. Reyes is retired. 2 down.
Take a look at this Orioles bullpen. The mighty pen. Those bullpen since April 29th. Major league ranks. Well, first in earned run average, third in opponent batting average, fourth in hits allowed, second runs allowed, 10th with walks. Everybody contributing. Everybody stepping up and doing an incredible job. Back end with Zach Britton and Darren O'Day. And of course, so many others can be part of that back end. Tommy Hunter having a great year. Chaz Rowe, you just saw him. And now Brad Brock as well. Big time arms coming out of the pen for the O's.
Good job by Rowe, an inning. Intentional walk, 2 strikeouts and 1 hit. Shift on against Donaldson. 1 for 2 and a walk. Base hit picked up earlier. Donaldson's gone 2 for 4 off Brock. For Brad Brock, his 6th game against the Blue Jays this season. He's given up 3 runs, 6 hits over 8 innings, 12 strikeouts, 4 walks. Donaldson trying to untie the ball game, 1-2.
96 miles an hour from Brad Brock. Tough to get to. The crossbody delivery and then just exploding out of the hand. And once you start thinking you can get to his fastball, he drops the nasty change. A quick pitch there.
Brock with a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Donaldson. He's having a word with Gabe Morales, maybe about a possible quick pitch. 2-2.
A lot of relievers actually have used that as part of their game plan now. Nobody's on base. They can get away with that quick pitch. Not have to really come set.
2-2 delivery. Foul back. Makes a lot of sense to do it. It really throws the timing of a hitter off. You're looking and you're expecting the pitcher to stop. But if there's nobody on, there's no box, so you just keep right on going.
Absolutely. Actually, Brad Brock in the Phillies series facing Chase Utley, and Utley was putting his hand on his bat to get some pine tar, and Brock throws the pitch.
And a swing and a miss. He got him. So Brock picks up the strikeout, retires the side in order. That's 7 done. 2-2. Jones. Delman Young jumped on one play at the plate. Machado trying to score. He does. It was challenged, but he clearly got it in ahead of Russell Martin's tag. Our T-Mobile game changer, and that's what tied the ball game up at 2.
Take a look at Mark Burley out of the ball game. Look at his pitch arsenal. 85% fastballs. Really mixing the two-seamer and cutter in throughout the ball game. Changeup always there. 7 strong innings, just 6 hits, 2 earned runs for Burley. Berto Osuna now in the ball game. Real good fastball, 69% of the time. Breaking ball and changeup as well. Very young pitcher, just 20 years old. The full command of the arsenal. Been in 29 games. Just a 2.32 earned run average. The opponent's hitting 182 overall.
From Cuba, living in Mexico. And the pitch taken down low. So Manny Machado will lead it off for the Orioles, 8th inning. He's had a ball game, double, single. Called out on strikes. He scored 2 runs. RBIs to Jones on a fielder's choice, and that sac fly we showed you. Toronto's not scored since the 2nd inning. They got 1 in the 1st. Encarnacion, a sac fly. 1 on a wild pitch in the 2nd inning. And off the fastball thrower, foul back by Machado. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Real good ball game. 5-4 final in the ball game last night. Toronto coming away with the victory. Swing and a miss as he went. Fouled off. Went up the ladder on it.
Top of the strike zone. Another good fastball from Osuna. And a good job to get a piece of it. Ends up catching a piece of Gabe Morales as well.
All important every time. Leadoff man getting on for the offense, but especially late in a game that's close. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be foul back. Toronto's left 6. The Orioles have left 4. Their Saturday afternoon game. We'll be back with you Sunday at the ballpark. 12:30 O's Extra. 1 o'clock tomorrow for the ball game on Masson, WJZ. Chris Tillman, Scott Copeland. And the pitch will be outside. So the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Manny. Certainly would take a walk here if he can get it. Three-2 delivery. 1 down.
Osuna very polished for 20 years old. Spotting the fastball, 96 miles an hour, down and away. Mixing up his pitches to Manny Machado, finishing him off with the heat.
Travis Snyder. Snyder's had a double single and has popped out top of the order. They've put up the hits in the game. Machado, Snyder, 4 of the 6 the Orioles have. Reimold a base hit. Flaherty a base hit are the other 2. 1-0 count. As soon as delivered, fell off the table.
Great change. He's got all 3. He has a good feel for all 3 pitches. Most of his experience learning to pitch in the Mexican League at just 16 years old.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Just a little bit inside. Pitch for the Diablos Rojos in the Mexican League. I'm going to have to go find that logo. I want to see what that looks like. 2 ball, 1 strike count. He pitched in the ball game last night, 3rd of an inning. Gave up a run on a couple of hits with a strikeout. As we said then, have no idea how many innings he's pitched. There are no numbers from the Mexican League on the work he did there. 3-1 delivery. That's going to be looped into left field. That'll be a base hit. 3-hit ball game. So Travis Snyder's on here in the 8th inning with 1 down, and the Orioles middle of the order coming up.
Nice game there by Travis Snyder.
David Lowe will come on to run for him. The Orioles get the speed over at first base. Snyder out of there with a 3-hit game. And Adam Jones coming up. Infield will shift around on Jones as well. Intentional pass has struck out and is hit into a fielder's choice.
I've seen Adam Jones use the whole field this year, especially when the count gets a little deeper. He's willing to back the ball up. That swing. He's looking for the 2-run shot, but a big hole open on the right side of the infield. David Lowe at first base after that Snyder single. Shoot one over there. A little more pressure on the Blue Jays.
Snyder getting his second 3-hit game of the season before Lowe out to run for him. 0-1 count. Jones will take the fastball inside at 96. That'll move it to a 1-ball 1-strike count. There's Travis Snyder. Yet another start today in left field. Whether Adam Jones is able to play the field tomorrow remains to be seen. Buck Showalter not committing to that in any way. Foul tipped. Count goes to 1-2. All depends on that right shoulder and how it feels. He had a couple of lineups made out today, waiting for Adam Jones to come in and try the arm. And Buck decided to keep him in that DH role. If there's soreness in there, he'll stay in that role.
Yeah, well, I think it's probably going to be totally up to Adam Jones. If Adam says, hey, listen, I got to be out in the outfield, I feel like I need to for my own mental stability, Buck Showalter will run him out there.
We got him. So Osuna gets him on the strikeout, 2 down.
Orioles with the off day on Monday. Be surprised if Adam Jones DHing again. Here the fastball. Getting by Adam Jones. Very good fastball. He's been locating it well. Second strikeout of the inning.
Now Delman Young. There are 2 down. Low on at first base. Young will face Osuna for the first time. Extending the lead just a bit. Pitch on the way in the air, right field, not deep. Bautista's got to come hard. Goins going out, and he will make the catch. Goins, your second baseman. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on. Bottom of the 8th, tied up. 13. O'Day and Bautista have a few words. Struck him out, big situation. Bautista answered. Next time, home run. Made sure he skipped his way down and chatted. Not only to O'Day, but the dugout. Then he gets hit. Warnings are issued. He hits another home run. O'Day's given up 4 home runs to Bautista.
A lot of sarcastic smiles going on between Bautista and O'Day in those clips. Darren O'Day, here's his pitch arsenal. The fastball 55%. Of course, the sweeping slider 44% of the time. The best relievers in the game the past few seasons, and this year no different. 2 wins, 1.04 earned run average, a couple saves, 32 punch outs in his 26 innings of work, just 5 walks. Opponent sitting 147 overall. Righties down to 119, and the lefties just 214. Fly ball pitcher, 60% of his outs in the air.
Another Rimo from center to left. Low pinch ran, stays in at center. And here's Bautista. Who else? He's 0 for 3 in the ball game, 0 for 4 in the first 2. Takes the big cut. So here they meet again. Ball game tied.
The big numbers off O'Day. 13, 4 home runs.
Shift on in the infield. O'Day's delivery to him. That'll be outside. 2 home run hitting ball clubs, 2 games, no home runs so far. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Bautista, Encarnacion, Carrera due up. O'Day with that high set. That's going to be up the middle. That's a base hit. Went with it. So Bautista here in the bottom of the 8th inning gets a leadoff single, where a manufactured run could be enough to win this ball game, tied at 2.
Almost right into the shift. The slider, piece of hitting back through the middle, and there's Flaherty on the shortstop side. Just out of his reach.
See how Givens works this. You get the middle of the order now. You get the power on Encarnacion, but you also got a pretty good chance for a double play if O'Day can get a ground ball. Encarnacion 0 for 2 and a sac fly RBI. He is 1 for 12 off O'Day. Infield back at double play depth. Encarnacion puts one to center field. That's going to fall in. Good read, Bautista, and it goes over the head. Bautista will be held. Lowe just got enough of that, or that would have been a whole lot of trouble. But he knocked it down, and Bautista's able to go to third. He stops there. Base hit on Encarnacion.
Unfortunately, knocking it down, a bit misplayed. When the sun comes out, the roof's open, the turf gets spongy off the end of the bat. Little bloop out to center field. Lowe just kind of thinking he's going to corral and keep him in front of him, but look at the bounce. Super ball hop. David Lowe jumps, gets off the glove. Bautista with the nice read on into third base.
Nobody out. Each team now is 7 hits. Discussion here with O'Day and Joseph, with Ezequiel Carrera coming up. Carrera's going to get his first at bat. He came on defensively to play for Colabello. He has not faced O'Day before. Manny Machado will stay in at third. Very close. Rest of the infield also drawn in. Carrera at the plate. Bautista the lead runner. Taken outside for a ball. Carrera, switch hitter. 232 from this side of the plate. A couple of doubles. Both have been hit left-handed. Overall, just that 208 average. 1-0 count. Outfield drawn in. Carrera takes another one. Same place, same call.
Definitely going to be careful, but Got to watch out trying to backdoor the sliders. Just missing that outside corner.
Herrera's 9 for 27 with runners in scoring position, way above his overall average. Those three have not been tempting enough. And the count goes to 3-0. O'Day's 5th appearance against the Jays this year. He's picked up a save, a run on 3 hits, 4 2/3 innings against them. 2 on, nobody out in the 8th. 1st and 3rd. 3-0 count. Herrera taking all the way. This time it gets the corner. Russell Martin is on deck.
There aren't many relievers that really think through a lineup as well as Darren O'Day. We've seen him in some of the tightest situations you'd ever want to be in. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And some way able to work himself out of those jams. Here another big one.
Herrera goes after it with a big cut. Just trying to drive it through that drawn in infield, and he didn't get it. And the count goes to 3-2.
O'Day staying aggressive. The high fastball up at the top of the zone. Oh yeah, good hitters count, but the veteran pitcher knows what he's looking for.
Herrera's drawn only 5 walks, 22 strikeouts, less than 100 at bats, 96 of them. 3-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way. Herrera puts it in the air. Down the line. It's deep. It's curving, and it is foul by about 10 seats.
Ooh. Deep breath there.
Herrera bidding for his first home run of the season.
Such an important out here. They can get him.
3-2 coming again. Runners off 1st and 3rd. And Rocky.
It's still okay. I mean, this is the stuff you think about, especially a pitcher like Darren O'Day. He knows he's got a base that he can work with. And now everywhere there's a force. As you can gun down that out at home, possibly turn a double play out of it, and O'Day will be in a good position.
Here's Navarro there, or Martin rather, coming up. Martin has a double, been hit by a pitch and scored, and he has grounded out. Jays trying to get the lead here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The infield playing it in. Martin 1 for 9 off O'Day. Takes the pitch for a strike. Sacks full.
Good numbers there. In the 3rd, less than 2 outs. 7 out of 19 times. Good percentage.
O'Day with that high set delivery to Martin. That'll miss low and away. These teams putting on quite a show here in this one. Ball game to be determined. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position for Toronto. 1-1 delivery on the way. Came up and in on him, and it's foul back, and O'Day will get ahead on the count. 1-2.
Great pitch. Great pitch there. A little extra on the fastball, just kind of taking off. Michael Givens recently just called up, warming up in the bullpen.
Be a major league debut if he gets into the ball game. 1-2 count. Bautista at 3rd, Encarnacion at 2nd, Herrera at 1st. O'Day the 1-2 delivery, and it's foul back again.
O'Day has a couple options now. So we know that he can throw that rising fastball to the top of the zone. The last pitch didn't quite get there. Of course, the slider Great ability to locate it both inside and out. He'd stay away here. Trying to get the strikeout.
Timeout at the plate. Martin steps back in. Another 1-2 delivery coming. O'Day delivers, and he struck him out. Martin goes down swinging as he went after a couple that were up. And a big out here in the 8th.
Huge K from Darren O'Day. He wanted to go right back up. Martin just fouled a high fastball off. Why not take it a little bit higher, 2 or 3 inches higher? And that's how much he misses it by. Huge strikeout for O'Day. He is fearless in these situations.
So the inning far from over. Now 1 down with the bases loaded. Middle infield will back up to go for the double play. Second and first. First and third halfway. Navarro at the plate. 1 away. And the pitch misses for a ball. Navarro's had a base hit, an intentional walk, and he has popped out. Navarro 1 for 7. Lifetime off O'Day. 2 singles and a walk. Loaded the bases out with nobody out. Now 1 down.
So the middle of the infield obviously playing for the double play. In the middle, corner guys reading the ball wherever it takes you.
Foul that one off right there at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Chopper or slow roller. Both Manny and Chris Davis will make their play at the plate.
Day trying to work his way through and keep this at a 2-2 ball game. Each team 7 hits. Both teams haven't done much with runners in scoring position on the ball game. 1-1 delivery to Navarro. Way back. And another one that's fouled by that much. That one hit off the facade. 3 decks up. Whoa.
A couple long strikes.
That's going to bring out Gibbons.
Tough to tell. All the Blue Jays fans up there thought it was a home run.
Gibbons does not have a challenge left. He challenged earlier, lost it. So this is one where the umpires will have to do it on their own, and they are going to do that. And you see I mean, it looks foul to me. It looks like the screen, you can see the ball all the way through.
Yeah, it looked foul as well.
Question of a grand slam or a foul ball. Somewhat significant. Though the umpires correctly will do an umpire review on this. Talking to the folks in New York. Question, did it go around the screen, I guess?
It may have hit the screen. That's what John Gibbons is looking at. Does it actually hit it?
If it ticks it, it's a home run.
Right. It may have caught the edge of that.
Because that's a fair screen, not a foul screen. Boy, is that hard to tell, though. No, it'll stay. It's just not enough to overturn it. Nothing conclusive that the call on the field was wrong.
All right, strike 2.
Yep. So 1 ball, 2 strike count. Bases remain loaded. Navarro that close. But instead, O'Day's up on the count. 1 down. Bautista, Encarnacion, Herrera getting their leads. O'Day wants the signs again. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery again, and he struck him out. O'Day, with the bases loaded, has struck out the next 2 batters.
Unbelievable demeanor on the mound from Darren O'Day. Bases loaded, no outs, back-to-back strikeouts. Here, look at the two-seamer work itself off the edge. Navarro, after missing a grand slam by inches, going down. His second strikeout.
So O'Day a chance to get out of the inning. Pilar's had a base hit. He is lined out and struck out. Kevin Pillar with the sacks full. He is 0 for 3 lifetime off O'Day. And Darren's pitch to him and a swing and a miss.
Just an incredible sense and understanding of what hitters are trying to do, what they want to do. O'Day executing here.
Oh, 1 count. O'Day's pitch to him. Pilar takes it down low and away. 1-1. Outfield is moved in center and right. Low and Young. 1-1 delivery on the way. It'll be foul back. So O'Day again gets ahead. A ball and 2 strikes on Kevin Pillar.
We've seen the different weapons that he can use. He got Martin on the high fastball. Navarro on a 2-seamer fading away. Pillar already showing he'll expand the zone on the slider.
One and 2. Pitch by O'Day. Pilar fouls another one back. Bat goes behind him as well.
So tough. Ball behind on Darren O'Day. Tough enough just to pick up the baseball. Sidearm delivery. Here O'Day trying to sneak the fastball by him on the bat and the ball. End up in about the same place off the backstop.
Big inning, big moment. O'Day so far has worked his way around the jam. Needs another strike against Kevin Pillar. 1-2. Pitch on the way, and he struck the side out. How about that? What a job by O'Day. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, 3 on, nobody out, and he strikes out Martin, Navarro, and Pilar to end the inning. It remains 2-2 as we go to the 9th. by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Battle going on here. Close to the shores of the lake. 2-2 ball game. A good one. And O'Day, what a performance.
We pull a rabbit out of my hat. Bases loaded and then 3 punch-outs in a row. Amazing stuff from Darren O'Day. Now Aaron Loup into the ball game. Fastball 67% of the time. It's a good one. 92-97 with the heater. Breaking ball is the slider and the change. At 3.86 earned run average, but just 1.35 here at the Rogers Center.
Davis on a swing and a miss. 0 for 3 in the game.
Opponent's hitting .211 overall. Look at him controlling the lefties down to 176. Rolls most of his outs on the ground 56% of the time.
Chris has gone 3 for 7 off Loup. Pitch will be taken away. We're in the 9th inning. 2-7-0 for the Orioles. 2-7-0 for the Jays. Toronto's left 9. The Orioles have left 5. Swinging it around from that first base side on the crossfire. 1-2.
Really creates an extreme angle across his body. A good arm. So tough on lefties.
And that one bounces out. Martin down. Ball almost ricocheted up, hit Davis in the head.
Yeah, I think it caught him in the foot. He slid over, blocked the slider. Oh yeah, right on the inside of the shoe ankle area. Hurts worse when you don't expect it. When he takes a foul ball off the face mask with the shoulder, you're like, all right, and just shakes it off.
That ball into the shit's going to be a base hit. Hit it hard. So Chris Davis is on, leads off the 9th inning with his first hit, and that'll get him out of an 0 for 15 that he was in. Join us again tomorrow. They will wrap up the 3-game set. Chris Tillman against Scott Copeland. Our coverage on Masson, 12:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep. Our game coverage at 1 o'clock. All the access you need right here on Masson.
Tillman 3 straight wins in a row, looking for number 4, and Copeland, youngster, just getting called up.
So let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of getting the leadoff man on. They did in the first inning. Machado had the double. They would score a run. They did in the 6th inning. Leadoff single by Machado. He scored another run. 0-1 pitch on the way, and it'll be taken up high. Reimold starting in center, moving to left in the ball game. Base hit, 1 for 3. Loop's delivery down the line, right field, and it will be foul.
We'll talk about both of these bullpens now going at it head to head, and both having great success recently. Loop, one of the arms out of the pen that's had recent success. Just a 1 earned run over his last 14 outings. He's feeling pretty good.
Davis very close to the bag, and the pitch will be down low. Great ball game, been all about pitching. These two offensive teams put up some outstanding numbers on the pitching side. Tommy Hunter, Zach Britton, depending on what happens. Here in the 9th inning, Orioles get a lead. Britton will be on. 2-2 delivery, inside strike. One down.
That extreme angle can be just as effective on the righties. This 93-mile-an-hour heater catching that inside corner.
Loop gets the K. Hardy the at bat. 0 for 1 off Loop. Pitch is there for a strike. Hardy to be followed by Flaherty. Both starters non-decision. Kevin Gausman, outstanding start, first of the year. 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Down to third base off the end of the bat. Donaldson will get a second one and no relay. Goings wisely hanging on to that one.
slower hit. Donaldson got to get that force at second base. Get the runner out of scoring position. And Goins a little more experience now at the major league level, understanding how to make that risky throw. Let's take the out.
Ryan Flaherty 0 for 2 off Loop. His base hit. A bunt single, third inning. Came off Mike Burley. Burley ended up 2 runs, 6 hits over 7. Struck out 5, had 1 intentional pass. 0-1 on Flaherty. Hardy now at first base. Hanging tight to the bag. Ooh, wow.
He got him. Yeah, he got hit there not too long ago. About the same spot. Actually, he was still pretty bruised yesterday when I was talking to him. And the fastball from Loop. Hit him right in the rib cage. The wind right out of him. That last time he got hit, he actually caught the ball under his arm and rib cage.
Third time he's been hit, third time Loop's hit a batter.
Not expecting it at all. Stepping in there. Nowhere to go. Flaherty's going to be icing that again.
So the Orioles, via the hit batter, get 2 on now. Hardy's down at second base. Potential go ahead run. 2 down. Here's Caleb Joseph. 0 for 3 in the ball game. Caleb will take it outside. So Loop a bit of a problem here with 2 down. Joseph's had an 0 for 4 off this left-hander. 1-0 count. Orioles 1 for 8. Runners in scoring position today. 1 more base hit might be enough. Loop's delivery. Inside out. There's the base hit into center field. Up with it is Pilar. His throw to the plate is not in time. Hardy scores and the Orioles pick up 1 in the 9th and they've got the lead 3-2.
Clutch hitting there from Caleb Joseph. Beautiful piece. Keeping the hands inside. Going to read back through the middle, and Hardy maybe an inadvertent collision at home plate. Look at that swing. That's how you do it. Clutch base hit. Pilar up and throwing, whole body behind him. Take a look at Martin, throws the whole body, and a hip check as Hardy slides, getting the foot in. Then it's midsection to midsection.
Great job by Caleb Joseph as he picks up his 21st RBI. And the Orioles now have a 3-2 lead. Luke will be coming out. The Orioles here in the 9th, a chance to score more. again. Now the Orioles up 3-2, wanting to add more.
And Ryan Tepera now in out of the bullpen. He got called up his first Major League appearance back in May 8th, and he has not relinquished the spot. Fastball 58% of the time. Breaking ball has a slider, and he cuts his fastball as well. The changeup 4%. It's a little split finger. 2.92 earned run average. 12 and a third innings work. 1 walk to 9 strikeouts for Tepera. He's got a big arm too. Fastball 92 to 98 at times. It's sitting 182 overall. Righty's down to 172. Lefty's not much better, just 200. He likes his off-speed pitches though. Good slider and split finger.
Tepera on, 27-year-old out of Texas. Sam Houston University. Second and third for the Orioles. 2 outs. Pitch gets away, but not far enough for the Orioles to pick up another run. Flaherty at third. Goes back to the bag.
Here it is, the slider, hard slider. Martin can't hang on to it. Flaherty kind of tippy-toeing down.
Manny Machado's had 2 hits, double, single, 2 runs scored, 2 for 4. Orioles a 1-run lead, 3-2. 1-0 delivery on the way to him. That ball down the line. Long chase. Carrera's not going to get it. Takes a hop off the wall to score, and Machado continues sizzling hot. A 2-out double, driving in 2 runs, and the Orioles have a 5-2 lead.
Big time piece of hitting once again from Manny Machado. Second double of the game, 14th on the year, along with his 14 home runs. Runs driven in. The Orioles starting to create some space between themselves and the Blue Jays. This ball is launched high, fastball, but he gets on top. 2-run score.
That ball towards the middle. Reyes over off the bat of low, and there is the final out. But the Orioles do damage. 9th inning, they pick up 3 runs. All charged to Luke, the left-hander, and they're up. 3 outs to go. Two more from Machado.
What the 8th inning, Darren O'Day. You talk about a high leverage situation. Bases loaded, nobody out. Down goes Martin on the high fastball. Navarro, 2-seamer down and away. 2 outs, make it 3. Pilar, the swing and the miss, and showing the frustration. Darren O'Day getting out of the monster jam, and Zach Britton now into the ball game. Orioles closer, 90% fastballs, and the breaking ball 10% of the time. There's that fastball, mid-90s with nasty movement. 163 earned run average, 18 saves from Britton out of 19 opportunities, 35 punch-outs, 5 walks. Sitting 214, lefties way down to 130, and he is a ground ball pitcher. 75% of his outs on the ground.
Parmalee's come into play in right field. Delman Young out. Bottom of the 9th inning, and Danny Valencia will be the pinch hitter to lead it off for Goins, who had an 0 for 3, the former Oriole. Valencia against Zach Britton, and the pitch outside for a ball. So the Orioles looking to even it up here at 1 apiece and set up that rubber match for tomorrow. 18 out of 19 in saves for Zach Britton. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be taken down low. For Britton this season, he's gone 1 for 1 in save chances against Toronto. 4th outing against them. Run on 5 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts in his previous appearances against the Jays. O'Day, the pitcher of record now for the Orioles, and Loop for Toronto. Pitch will be taken on the inside corner for a strike.
Get back into the count right there. Very important for Zach Britton to get ahead.
Valencia just a 2 for 11 off Zach. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Ground ball to the hole. Hardy, long throw, wants to hop it. Not in time. Infield hit for Valencia.
Great try from J.J. Hardy. It's not enough time to set up the backside. Still, the momentum kind of taking him away from the target, so can't get enough on the throw. But a great effort. Valencia smelling out the hit, getting himself at first.
Orioles out hitting the Jays 10-8 in the ball game. Top of the order, Reyes. That's why that 9-man getting on pushes the chance to get to the middle of this order. Reyes a double, first time up, 1 for 4, and he will take the pitch for a strike. Reyes 1 for 3 off Zach Britton. The Orioles, of course, hoping for a ground ball, something Britton gets a lot of. Check swing. Did he go? Yep. Dale Scott down at first.
Yeah, 98 mile an hour fastball. Got to gear it up. Can't hold up there. Just out in front.
Reyes hitting only 182 right-handed, 336 left-handed. 0-2 count. Chopper. Flaherty. No. A little hesitation. Flaherty thought about going himself to the bag as Zach Britton wasn't quite there. Knew he couldn't get there in time. Flipped it, and it wasn't there in time, and they're 2 on.
Now this is the play the Orioles work on all spring training. Chopper that Chris Davis should not have vacated first. He should have just headed back. Natural instinct to kind of bite on the ball. Got to read that, recognize the play. Reyes with the great speed to put the pressure on the Orioles.
An infield hit, 2 of them. Here in the 9th inning, and the potential tying run is now at the plate. Donaldson, then Bautista, then Encarnacion for Britton. Donaldson has a base hit, a walk, struck out, popped up. He's coming up here with 2 on, a 1 for 3 off Britton, a home run. Nobody out. We'll take the pitch for a ball. These 2 making it interesting. 5-2 Orioles lead, 3 runs in that 9th inning. All charged to Loop in 2/3 of an inning. Britton with a 1-0 delivery. Donaldson will foul it off.
Well, one place you want to stay is down, especially a hitter like Josh Donaldson. The fastball's up in the zone. And for Zach Britton, ball tends to flatten out when it's up. When it's down, he gets the great movement. That's the 75% ground ball rate. Get it down in the zone.
Second best hitter in the league against left-handers, Donaldson. 392. Ground ball. It's a chopper. Play will go to first. Get the out there. Runners will move up, but a big out. Donaldson retired, one away.
In a lot of ways, Zach Britton's fastball too good. A lot of weak ground balls that have given teams extra opportunities in the past.
And as it would have to be against the Orioles, here's Bautista. He is 1 for 6 off Britton. Got a base hit in the 5th inning. 1 for 4 and a walk in the game. 1 for 7 in the first 2 games of the series. Runners at second and third, but the important one is at the plate. Bautista going to be a base hit into center field. They'll score Valencia. Reyes will stop. Too important for him to try. Bautista, what's he doing? Like he's going to take off for second. There's no way. There's nobody covering first, but it doesn't matter. And it is a 5-3 ball game.
Bautista not wasting any time jumping on the first pitch. It's up a little bit. Not much movement there, and rockets it back through the middle. David Lowe getting it back in quickly. And Reyes at third base.
So Bautista will pick up the RBI. It's 45 in the year for him. First and third. Now you got a chance for a double play. Encarnacion, a base hit, sac fly, 1 for 3 in the ball game. 1 out. Reyes goes to third. He will take the pitch for a strike. Encarnacion has gone 4 for 11 off Zach Britton.
Surprise right there to Encarnacion. A really good curveball. The great numbers. So Zach's got to mix it up a little bit. Nice job getting ahead.
Encarnacion with the 0-1. Big cut. 96 and an 0-2 count.
That's the difference there. Really not about the velocity, just the location. Gets down in the lower third. It's that unhittable movement. Hits up in the middle and above, flattens out, can get hit.
Justin Smoke in the on deck circle to pinch hit if he needs to. No pitch. Timeout was granted to the hitter on that one. Encarnacion asking for it. There's Smoke. First and third, 1 out. Bottom of the ninth, 5-3 Orioles leading. Britton 0-2. Encarnacion chopper. This could be the one to end the ball game. There's one, and there's the double play, and that will do it. That's the ground ball they were looking for. Ryan Flaherty gets it and turns 2, and the Orioles will pick up the win. A 5-3 victory for the O's.